Welcome back to Weekend Movie Bro Season 3.
Man,
That's not gonna happen every
what
episode.
a
We're there.
what a road trip it's been to get to this, huh? Today.
It's been a moment, for sure.
Hashtag buffer in 2021.
For anybody who's curious, we don't actually name these podcasts until we get done with them because we don't really know what we're talking about until we do them. So currently it's called Fucking Podcast You Better Not Fucking Buffer. And then bitch. Sorry, I forgot the B word. And then the description literally just reads fuck. That's been our mood for the night. So that's where we're at. Today we're gonna be talking. You know what? If I'm being honest with you, we don't do these podcasts where we just sit here and we ramble for like an hour. Today we're rambling for an hour. The only scheduled programming for today is WandaVision because yes, we're gonna have to talk about that. Whole reason why we're starting this week is because of WandaVision. So you best believe we're gonna talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Jacob, by the way. Zachary, who are you?
You just said it.
Well, you know what? Explain what that means.
I'm Zachary.
But what are you?
I'm the other half of Weekend Movie Bros. Clearly.
Obviously. Okay. Oh, I can move you back over so we're facing each other. I'm looking at you sideways and it just doesn't make any sense. Oh, I'd also like to mention if you're listening to this in a podcast form on whatever you listen to your podcast, there is a video version up on Weekend Movie Bros, the movie channel. Isn't that so cool? It's so exciting. So yeah, if you wanna see our beautiful faces, I don't know why you would. You can also find me in a whole bunch of places. My face is all over the internet. So
there you go.
There you go. All right. So this is what happens when we don't have structure. We ramble on intros for 2 minutes.
So
what do you want to start with, Zachary?
Let's just go right to what we've been watching.
No. We're not. No. We're not changing our order of shit. Okay? We're going to talk about things at the beginning. Then we're going to go what we've been watching, our WandaVision review, what we've been watching, movie commentaries, and then ending. It's the same thing. We've been doing this for 27 episodes straight the same way. It's not changing.
You just asked me what I wanted to do. I figured we could just start somewhere.
Yeah. We're going to start. What news stories sparked your attention over the past 3 weeks that you're like, I need to talk about?
Well, sticking with Marvel because it's a Marvel kind of based show tonight. Charlie Cox was confirmed and finished rapping on Spider-Man 3, which is exciting. I have some theories about that. Also, Ethan Hawke has been confirmed as the villain for Oscar Isaac's Moon Knight.
How about we stick to one story at a time for the moment? How about you go back to Charlie Cox? You know, what are your theories over there? Okay, before we jump around, get them all crazy.
You're muted, by the way. Yeah, gotcha.
I'm eating. My mic picks up every single noise. I'm not turning this into an ASMR podcast.
That's fair. I think Daredevil is a Skrull.
Does that mean they're going to give him Elektra's storyline and he's going to die at the end of Spider-Man? We already know he's confirmed for She-Hulk because Jessica Jones just got confirmed for it.
But it's Secret Invasion.
She-Hulk's not Secret Invasion. And we're not doing Secret Invasion right now. Maybe She-Hulk leads into Secret Invasion? Possibly. Because right now we're doing multiverse. That's why he's coming over. So I don't think so. I think he's jumping the gun a little. He could be a Skrull. I'm not saying he's a Skrull. I'm just saying I don't think we're going to know he's a Skrull in Spider-Man.
No, but I do think it's going to be a single scene with him. I don't think it's going to be a full-fledged thing. I think it's going to be a single scene on a rooftop between Daredevil and Spider-Man. And Daredevil will be giving him legal advice in order to figure out how to deal with this whole impersonation bullshit.
He has been confirmed to be in a courtroom. He will be Spider-Man's lawyer.
Or he could be someone else's lawyer.
True, but why not just make him
What if he
Spider-Man?
was Mysterio's lawyer? How funny would that be?
I feel like a lot of people would be really mad. Just make him who the lawyer should be, and he probably will not actually be in the suit. Is my best
Which
guess.
is fine.
It's a crowd movie, so
Here's my question: if we do see Daredevil in the suit eventually down the line, do you think they're going to change the suit at all? Yeah.
yes, I do. I do very much believe that they will change his suit.
How do you feel about that?
I mean, here's the problem. Here's the truth. I'm curious to see what like Wanda's new suit's going to look like at the end of this whole thing for WandaVision. I think that will give us a kind of distinction where they're going with things. Because I'm tired of the carbon copies. This is what the suits look like. I really hate for Daredevil to be put in a carbon copy Marvel suit.
I do too.
Okay.
Now I'm not trying to get political at all, but due to the nature of certain things happening this past week, people are asking Marvel to retire the Punisher character. And Bernthal has talked about this as well. On my side of the fence, I agree. I think that, Punisher is a lot of things. And what he stands for kind of represents what happened this past week. I'm not going to talk about what happened, but it kind of represents what happened this past week.
I don't really think I have a voice to put here because I read a Punisher comic. I've seen a episode of Punisher.
Mm-hmm.
It was even in the order that it showed up in. It simply said, this has a certain character. I want to see her. I'm going to watch the episode. So I did, So I can't really talk to the nature of it. But I kind of agree, but also I kind of don't agree.
That's fair.
It's a mixed bag there, to be honest with you. Because I think, here's my personal opinion. Sure, fiction mimics real world. That's why it's called fiction. You write what you know.
Mm-hmm.
Punisher, I'm sure, is based on something that really happened in the world. I'm sure there's somebody out there who's like, I'm going to become Punisher. I'm sure somebody played Grand Theft Auto. Like, I'm going to shoot that person. That's very adult. Sorry about that. But you understand what I mean. Like, yeah. I mean, it's just something that happens. I don't think we need to cancel it just because of it. And it's not even confirmed that Punisher will be coming back. It might be a mute point anyways. Because the only two characters that are currently in talks, obviously Charlie Cox was confirmed. He's been shooting on set.
Yeah.
But also, for She-Hulk, Kristen Ritter is in talks to be rejoining again.
Which I would like a lot.
I would too. I would say out of everybody in the Defenders, in that universe over there, I would say those are probably the two that are people's most favorite.
Oh, and all of Daredevil's crew. All of Daredevil's crew.
Totally fucking agree. If you bring over Daredevil and you bring over Jessica...
Foggy better be in that courtroom. That's all I'm saying.
If you bring over the person, you should bring over their teams. We didn't just love the character, we loved the world they created.
And especially when it comes to Daredevil, that entire cast is universally loved. It'd be kind of really, it'd be stupid of them to go, hey, you, Kingpin? Nah.
Let's get real here.
Dude.
Yeah.
What if we see, oh my God.
Yeah.
I just thought of that.
Yeah.
What if we see Scorpion talking to Kingpin in the prison? Holy shit. That just kind of blew my mind a little bit.
And Vincent D'Onofrio would definitely.
Oh, are you kidding me? He's been begging to do this. Ever since they announced the show, he's been wanting to do Spider-Man forever. And to see him in the proper animated series suit with the orange ascot and the red pink and the diamond on the Sorry, I really geeked out there for a second.
He had a geekgasm, people would say.
Because the first time we see Scorpion in the comics, he is an assassin for Kingpin. Kingpin sends him to get Spider-Man, and I'm like,
should I Google the authenticity of that statement?
It's, if I remember correctly, it's either in the original 616 or it's in the Ultimate Universe that he's used.
I'll believe you. I'm having a rough night tonight. I'm just gonna believe you.
I'm good. I'm chill. I'm good. It's been a very good Marvel week this week.
Well, here's the thing. I feel really bad for everybody else. I feel bad for DC. I feel bad for anybody. Everybody, I feel bad because the year that Marvel gave people to try to shine, well, we had a pandemic. So that wasn't really fair. And
I'm not gonna lie. Before we get to WandaVision, because we're gonna get to it, but seeing the Marvel Studios, when I saw the Marvel Studios for the first time yesterday, a little ray of sunshine bursted from my heart. I was very happy to see it.
Either. I rewatched WandaVision right after I watched WandaVision because I just was so happy to be back.
Yeah.
To the point where I'm like, I kind of want to binge watch 23 films, even though I have zero time to do that. I want to, but I don't have time.
I'm off till Friday. I think I might try to get 3 films in a night, starting tomorrow.
That will only bring you to like 14.
I know. I did the math. It'll give me the Doctor Strange if I do that.
And also, I think I'm gonna watch it in timeline order, not chronological, not in release, but in
you know what that means, right? That means you have to watch Captain America: The First Avenger first.
Well, actually, I've seen it a bunch of times. I could just skip it and go to Captain Marvel, which is the movie I've truly been wanting to watch. So I could just do that and make myself.
No. If you're gonna do this, Jacob, all 23, you need to watch First Avenger.
I never actually said I was gonna watch 23. I just said I had the aspiration to watch 23. Okay.
I watched all 23.
I also wanted to watch Civil War randomly, and I did, and I enjoyed myself. Was that yesterday morning, or was that the morning before? I don't know. I remembered it being a lot longer, but it was so enjoyable. My gosh, what a great movie. Okay, these are the tangents that we tend to not get on because we have a strict schedule.
But yeah, so that's Charlie Cox.
Oscar, let's go over to Moon Knight. You brought it up.
So Ethan Hawke today, Ethan Hawke was confirmed to be the villain for Moon Knight alongside now the confirmed Oscar Isaac as Moon Knight. That wasn't confirmed for a while. We all thought it was a bunch of not, but it's true.
I don't actually know if it's confirmed.
No, it's confirmed. Everybody's running the story.
They never directly said he was Moon Knight. They just kept using his name in a lot of article titles. Because I tried to do a lot of research into that. Because I wasn't entirely sure. But 2 people got cast. It was Oscar Isaac and then let's see here. Go over. They're expected to begin in Budapest in March, by the way, if anybody was curious. So I guess he could probably do both. I mean, a lot of people just didn't really think he could do both. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And because of all the changes they're making, I'm trying to find the girl who got cast earlier this week. But because of all the changes and stuff they're making to Moon Knight, just casting Ethan Hawke in general, great choice. Just not exactly what people were expecting. I would say even or wanting. I think whatever they're gonna do is fine. I think we just gotta put some trust over there, I guess. And then we gotta talk about that. Let's see here. I can't find her name. There was also a girl who joined. He's gonna be playing Killer. Moon Knight's Rogue Gallery also includes. Nope, not where I'm looking at. The main villain, Moon Knight. It doesn't say who though.
We don't have a name yet to the guy.
The lead villain is all it says. Yeah. Then there was a girl who got cast like 3 days ago. Probably because they're wrapping up Speed to get in production over in Budapest.
Yeah.
Which makes for sure.
But so that's Moon Knight. And then Morbius was announced to be delayed from its original March 19th, 2021 release date to now in October 5th. Now, I have 2 things to say about this. Number 1, they made the right choice.
No, I'm going to tell you this much, okay? I am very adamant on this movie coming out. Do you want me to tell you why? I thought the trailer looked good, okay? I thought it looked a little B-movie. I thought it looked a little underworldy. But that's fine. I enjoy this film, and so I was willing to give it a chance. I am not willing to give this movie a chance anymore.
Why?
Now, to be honest with you, that's my own fault. No one else's. I go to the movies twice a week. This is my choice. I play the piper. I pay the price in this scenario. But you know what their favorite trailer to play
Morbius.
that I'm now gonna have to watch until October? Fucking Morbius. And I've
Unless we get a
never
new
seen a
one.
movie. Huh? No.
Unless,
I've never seen a movie that has been broken by the pandemic. This is the movie that has been broken.
well, so
For
to
me.
me, yeah, for me, I feel this is a smart move because again, this puts it back where it was supposed to be last year, which was a Halloween film. I think it'll work really well in October. But here's my other thing: if you've realized when they moved Morbius last year, what got moved right after? Venom 2. I think Morbius and Venom are more connected than we think. And so now I'm thinking that Venom will be pushed from its summer release to November.
I don't think. Oh, I got it. Don't have it yet. I do see her. I'll click on this one. Sorry, still looking for that name for anybody who's curious for Moon Knight. Venom. Something got leaked. I got to see it. I'm very excited. I got some news on Venom, and I only want to mention it if Zachary's okay with slight.
That's fine.
Okay. So, if you guys did not know, and it's okay if you did, because I didn't realize it was this close either, a certain thing is coming up called the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl is still supposed to be packed full with trailers this year. Everybody thought maybe they'd take the year off because of the way the world's been. Nope. Superheroes still going on. It's like next weekend or something like that. It's or February. It's like the Valentine's weekend or the weekend after Valentine's Day. Whatever.
Yeah.
And Venom, Let There Be Carnage, will have a trailer in the Super Bowl. I got to see a clip of it because it got leaked.
Uh-huh.
The trailer itself did not get leaked, but the fact that it's a teaser trailer for the Super Bowl trailer. Like, there's going to be a teaser trailer the week of the Super Bowl, and then actually on Super Bowl, they're going to release the full 2-minute trailer, however long it's going to be. And it also got announced. It finally officially got announced. It is a rated R film. Fully.
Jacob, you know what that means. Cletus gonna be killing people.
Yeah, I know. It's gonna be real good. My biggest problem with Venom, the first one, is because of all the cuts they had to make for making it PG-13. You could tell in the action sequences that this was supposed to be more violent, and they decided not to. And some things were done tastefully. Other stuff, I think, was done half-assed, in my opinion. May Comley will be playing also a part of it. I don't know who she's playing in it, but that's who they just added as well. So those two people are going to be it. Are in our Moon Knight.
So we have Morbius, we had Daredevil, but here's the big one. I honestly think this is the big one, and this news can go either two ways: really, really small, or significantly big going forward. Chris Evans is now in reports to return as Captain America within the MCU. This can go
specifically.
2 ways.
Sorry, I'll let you finish, and I'll add. Are you sure?
Yeah.
I interrupted you, so if you want to finish what you're saying.
Okay, fine. This can go either way. This can either be a big role for him again in the MCU, or what I hope it's going to be is a small role somewhere within something. His end in the MCU is perfect. It's absolutely perfect from beginning to from a character perspective of how his story ends. It makes most sense. It is satisfying, and you feel good in the heart, no matter who he is with.
I didn't cry.
Anyway,
I didn't cry at all.
I either think he's going to be a alternate version of Captain America in Doctor Strange 2, and we're going to see the Hydra version of Captain America to where he was with Hydra instead of being with America. I think that'd be really cool. Or I think he's going to be in Secret Invasion, and we're going to see Captain America as a Skrull.
So here's a little more information. On the Captain America stuff. Very cool. There was a very big bag backlash to it. So I do wonder if he'll move forward past the negotiation talk at least, which is what they're in right now, which was, how it goes. We've been through that process enough on this in the podcast form. And basically, from what I understand, from what Deadline reported, Deadline was the one who got the information leaked to them, probably by Disney themselves. Let's get real here.
Here's your information.
Was the fact that he's not. A lot of people were guessing because all they read was Chris Evans back as Captain America, and everybody kind of ran with that or whatever. Deadline's exact article says it's going to be a small role in a secondary film, like Iron Man is to Spider-Man or Spider-Man was to Civil War type of thing. So that only means one thing.
There's no
at
way.
Least in the time coming forward. That would be Doctor Strange 2, The Multiverse of Madness. Who would not want to come back and be playing along with your other Captain Americas that could have been, who wouldn't want to share the scene with 3 other Captain Americas or 2 other Captain Americas, And they also could play the role because we're going to be jumping through timelines and jumping through different Earths and stuff. The Captain America that we do get back, and this could be a way to keep what is Mackie? What is the first name?
Anthony Mackie.
Thank you. Keeping him as Captain America and maybe even putting Chris Evans in a movie role as well as the next Captain America film. As obviously, I'm assuming they're probably going to do one since they're moving forward with all the Captain America stuff. Is making him Hydra. Hydra, once again, we're going to talk about it again with WandaVision, is back. That's all I'm going to say. We'll talk about when we get spoilers for WandaVision.
What if Chris Evans is the villain of Anthony Mackie's first Captain America movie?
That's what I mean. And so he could have sat down because he had said, you have to remember this, and I think this is very important to the timeline here, is that Chris Evans was very adamant that he was done, that nothing would bring him back. Of course, obviously, Tony Stark was also adamant, but I'm sure Iron Man's going to show up somewhere in here as well. Which is, it's just what's going to happen. I mean, I would prefer it to be like 3 or 4 more years down the line to give their deaths a little bit more meaning and not to turn into like a CW TV show where a character would die and then they'll be back 2 episodes later. It kind of takes away from what they did with Endgame. I do agree, even though if I didn't love the ending to Captain America's story, I did love who gave the shield. I agreed with all that stuff. But more than likely, they sat down and Kevin Feige was like, hey, do you want to play an evil Captain America? And Chris Evans was like, you know what? Yeah, I fucking do. And it is a way to bring back a Captain America, not the one that we fell in love with, a Captain America. My only issue I can see we running into is the big villain of Falcon and Winter Soldier, or one of the key players, not the key player, but one of the
US
key players,
agent.
Is an evil Captain America, essentially.
Yeah.
And they're going to be playing with about the same table as well. These are going to be the white supreme. They're going to try to probably put this one in the headlines if he does come back and say Elijah. It's going to be very like real life. I mean, which would make sense. Chris Evans is a very political person in real life. If you're on Twitter and you're not political, nice to meet you. Where you been? I don't know you. So like it makes sense, and it would be very fascinating for him to play. And he's had yet to get off on his feet, but I don't think he's had anything big to put him off on his feet. Yeah, you know what I mean? So I think it's a mixed bag. I did, like I said, mention people were mad because Anthony Mackie has yet to even show what he could do with being Captain America.
I was upset at first because of that reason, is that we haven't seen Mackie yet do anything with the Shield, and before we get back to him again, I want to see Mackie do his thing with the Shield, and so I want to see and wait what's going to happen with him. Now, to get back to your other tidbit about this information, about him pulling a CW, I solely believe, I hate saying it, but RDJ will be coming back in some way, shape, or form as Iron Man, but I don't think we will see him for another 3 years. I don't think we're going to see him until Ironheart.
Yeah, I'm thinking Ironheart as well. I was feeling that as well. I got that feeling.
Because I am now to the point where I would be okay at that time if they wanted to make Tony Stark her AI. I think I'd be okay with it at that point. I think it would have been long enough to wait.
A hologram.
No, he'd be the AI with the suit.
No, I have a feeling he's going to be a hologram, which he could still be the AI. I mean, they've done both before. It's not like it's a new thing. But if he is a hologram, he can still control the Iron Man suit if they do it like the comics and stuff. And so it's still like he is being Iron Man. He's just not alive to be Iron Man.
And I think that won't be the only Stark in Ironheart. And I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm very curious. Ironheart's a long ways away.
Yes,
you know,
and
I can also see. I can also partially see him showing up in either the ending of Spider-Man 3 or the beginning of or some point in Doctor Strange 2, Multiverse of Madness, because of his relationship to Peter Parker. We have no idea what they're doing with Peter Parker past Spider-Man, and we know he's in Doctor Strange 2. But past this storyline, we don't know if they're continuing on with this character, or we're gonna have to get a new Parker, or like a new Spider-Man. We're not really sure, and so they might want a moment to close out that relationship in a full capacity.
I agree, and I mean, yeah, Parker could go. I mean, there's another Spider-Man out there that the MCU has full control over right now because it's not really part of the Sony universe. And he could just casually walk around New York and say, "Hey, I want to do that too." I don't know who, but there's another one. Yeah, there's another one. And technically, if Peter wanted to go for the Sony side of Marvel things, they could technically keep the other one. Say he's a Marvel-based superhero. He can stay with us. I'm just saying. Yeah, it's a thing.
Also saying is that they have a perfectly casted character as well.
Yeah,
that's been in other things, portraying a certain character. I'm just saying.
And you can already set up that great uncle nephew relationship because we've already seen his uncle. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, Mark. Wow, we suck at this.
Anyway. All right. What else? Oh, we can talk about. Okay, let's jump off gears of Marvel for a second. Let's go over to Warner Brothers. Sorry, I don't have any news for you, small studios. I don't pay attention enough. Let's jump over. It just felt bad. We always talk about the same two big studios. It just feels. Well, we mentioned Sony up in there every once in a while.
Sony's getting a streaming service.
Oh, well, I don't know if I particularly enjoy that, but that's okay. We'll move on forward. I won't be subscribing. I'm sorry, Sony. I don't even subscribe to Stars unless it's on sale. And you know what? That says a lot. Because you have the best movies. And I'm not going to lie to you. Stars really does have the best movies, and I still don't do it until it's on sale. Either way. So, moving over to HBO. HBO Max, obviously, let's put it inside a pickle. We didn't actually get to talk about that pickle at all. The whole time it was in a pickle, we didn't get to talk about, and now we get to talk about how it's not in a pickle anymore. So, yeah, let's explain the situation, It's a little old, a little bit dated, but we do have some new information. All matters. HBO, at the very end of last year, when Wonder Woman was about to come out, said they're going to drop their whole entire slate onto HBO Max and HBO simultaneously without paying an extra price. Well, here's the thing. They didn't pay any back-end deals. They were going to go to court several times. I mean, by a lot of people. A lot of people were suing. A lot of stars were saying they're not going to promote their films whatsoever. They're going to let it die. And the HBO Max would have been a big dud. Also, like to mention that Wonder Woman 1984 must have not did well for them because they continued their sale until March, which is never a good sign. But the updated. Sorry, did you want to add this?
Fun fact about the lawsuits and suing and stuff. One studio did sue, and that studio won. So HBO Max got scared.
That is true. Yes, it did. And they got very scared. Like, I mean, really scared.
Like $250 million scared.
And now we're getting So the moral of the story. The moral of the story, if anybody was curious, is there's a lot of movies that we're thinking about yeeting. Okay, that's the best way to put it. And now they're staying. Because now HBO has put like a ungodly amount of money into their 2021 slate. Like, for instance, what I heard. Now, sorry for hitting the microphone. What I heard was So if we had to predict, what movie out of 2021 do you think for HBO, Matt, for HBO, on that slate that you saw would make $1 billion? If any. Because a fun fact, I have a set. I don't think any of them would. Truly, I don't think any of them would.
I think one would. I really think one would. If it's done correctly, I have one film.
Okay, Zachary. Oh, yeah, but here's the thing with Matrix. Matrix is coming out in December, which means any of the money that it's actually going to be making in theaters in December, it probably wouldn't make $1 billion until January, if not a little bit after January. So, I'm talking about movies.
But it does count. 2021.
It does. And Matrix 4, I will give you, is definitely the only movie on this list. I'm going to bring up that list, by the way, for anybody
you don't think Suicide Squad had a chance?
I do not, no. We're actually going to go through them here in a second. Oh, is this not the
you know what's crazy? The one film I really think that would have had a shot if the other 3 films in this franchise did well is Godzilla vs. Kong.
Okay, so my point being here, the whole reason why I asked this question, this broad question of what movie you think would make $1 billion. I think Suicide Squad would make upwards of 800 million if it was good. It could be horrible and no one went to go see it. I mean, who knows? And so we're going with the fact that we believe all these movies, Dune, Godzilla vs. Kong, Matrix 4, The Suicide Squad, all these movies are perfect films. Like, these are movies that are either so fun you have to watch it 1,000 times in theaters, or so bad that you have to experience it again. You know what I mean? Like, they have to be on that verge point of rewatchability. Because the way they got out of their deals is they paid them all like they were going to be at the top points of their price points. So, for instance, Godzilla vs. Kong cost $250 million to make. Do I think that's way too much money? Yes. Oh my God, yes. I don't think it should have cost that much money to make. There's no way it's going to make that much money back. Just based on back-end deals or not, but based on global receptions of the previous 2 films, I wouldn't paid more than $150, if I'm being honest with you. 3
films.
3 films. Thank you. Oh my God. God.
On Skull Island and Godzilla King of the Monsters. This is the 4th one.
Okay. You see my point here?
Yeah, I know.
And none of them have made $1 billion at all. None of them have come close to making $1 billion. I think the highest one was in the 700s, if that maybe, you know what I mean?
Kong.
And that was Kong. And so there's no way. There's no way. Because ultimately, you're going to disappoint one group of the fan base. Actually, I think we've all come to the realization that they're probably going to fight for the first 2/3 of the movie. By the end of the movie, they're going to become best friends, and they're going to kill Mothra together. I think that's what they're building. Or not Mothra. There's going to be. Oh,
we don't know. We don't know what the 3rd creature is yet. We know there's a 3rd one in the film. We just don't know who it is.
Either way, I think that's what we all kind of assumed. They're going to piss people off. But they paid everybody like they were going to get paid the highest amount they could make in the box office. Which a lot of these would be like $1 billion.
Yeah. So my thing with Godzilla vs. Kong is this. Of the 2 of us, be honest, the only one you've liked of the bunch is the latter half. You didn't like Godzilla at all. But you like Kong Skull Island and you like Godzilla vs. King of the Monsters. We both did.
Sure. Yep.
My favorites are the Godzilla movies. I did not like Kong at all. I thought Kong. I've really grown to appreciate that first one a lot. I understand what it's doing, and so therefore I've grown to like it a lot more. Kong to me is a period piece done wrong. I don't think it works.
We're not redoing them, Zachary, but that's okay.
That's just me. But however, the build up that they've been building to this fight is exactly how I feel about Batman vs. Superman. Is the build up to the fight between Batman and Superman in their movie. We get to it. It's a great 20-minute scene. And then we move on. That's what I'm worried about with this film, because unfortunately, whereas in Japan, when you see these types of films, the human storylines Japan's dealing with are invigorating. They're riveting. You really get into them. Let's be honest here. The whole Monarch storyline in these films has sucked the entire way through.
They haven't been the greatest.
The best. And they're personally, to me, bringing back the weakest human actors from all the films to this movie.
I mean, on a side note, I did enjoy aspects of the stories in both, and actually in all three of them. I think there's parts of Godzilla that was good. There's also parts of Godzilla that were god awful.
Yes.
For human story-wise. Kong, I liked certain characters and it made it very enjoyable. And also hated certain characters and it made it unenjoyable. And the last one, there was just that, I don't know, it was just so pretty, you know? You just forgave. Yet the first two movies, you would think Godzilla would be that pretty. And I saw that in theaters, and I still don't think it was that pretty. Like, it's pretty, but it's not like Godzilla, Kong pretty.
That's what I'm looking forward to. That's what I'm looking forward to with this film. After seeing those first 2 seconds that we saw today on that trailer, this movie is gonna be pretty. When he by the way, that's now a meme now of Godzilla going, high five. Give me a high five, Kong.
I mean, it definitely is just showing the fact that I will definitely be seeing this in theaters first.
Oh, no, Jacob. How are we going to see this together? 1, 2, 3. IMAX.
Probably not. I'll probably see it next see.
That was our biggest
IMAX would have been like a fun time, for sure. All right, so some other movies that are coming out. I'm just going to talk about the slate here for a second, and we can talk. I'm actually going to read the titles, and you're going to tell me if you know what they are.
Okay.
I mean, that's going to be kind of fun, right?
Yeah.
We don't really get to talk about new releases because there hasn't been any. So let's have some fun with new releases for a minute. Why not? You know, it's important. So we talked about Godzilla vs. Kong to death. So we'll move on. That's Suicide Squad. Zach, do you know what Suicide Squad is?
You mean that small film directed by James Gunn with a couple famous people?
Yeah, that's a small film. Little baby over there in the corner. For sure. Yeah, okay. So I moderately think it looks okay. I'm excited. I'll watch it. King Shark. Anyone? King Shark? For sure.
Listen, I've said this once, and I'll say it again. If the DC film was good, that is a win on their front. At this point, though, I'm not expecting anything. I really am not. Joker, to me, is the pinnacle of DC films of this current generation. It's really hard to hit that, for me personally. And this whole universe thing, it's just not working. I'm looking forward to Justice League simply because it's going to be a fun film to see this version of the movie. Other than that, I am not invested at all in this anymore. It's hard for me to get invested into it, whether it's a new timeline or old timeline. It's just hard.
I mean, I'm not really invested in it, but I'm excited to see what it does. What's in it?
So am I.
If that makes any sense.
But the film they're striving for is a film no one's looking forward to start this whole thing over again, and they're putting too much. They're too many.
Well, I don't actually think this is going to start the whole thing over again. I mean, yeah, they're hoping it's going to be a blockbuster hit for sure, like for money purposes, because Warren 1984 was definitely a flop. In every sense of the word of a flop. Even for coronavirus, it was a flop. Which is a lot. That's a lot to say for a movie in our environment right now. But I personally, I'm a mixed bag here. I think a lot of things they showed I was really impressed with. I think, having seen every version of Harley Quinn to date in every format, I think Kaley Cuoco is by far the best Harley Quinn. And it does hurt Margot Robbie, in my opinion. Every time I watch Birds of Prey, I'm just like, you're just not it. You want to be, but you're just not there. There's certain scenes. Like I said, I watched the opening of Birds of Prey a lot because I think it's great. Other than that, I wasn't a huge fan, And so I'm excited to see what James Gunn does with the character and things. Honestly, King Shark and Harley Quinn are the only reasons why I'll be tuning into that. Moving on, Zachary. Oh, Zachary, you're gonna love this next one. You have any other thoughts on Suicide Squad? You look like you maybe had another one.
Yeah, that's my problem though. is the director,
For sure.
is Gunn, because no offense to the guy, I think he's a brilliant director. He's done a lot of good things in a lot of good places. However, we've seen this from him already in a separate universe. Ragtag group of
That I don't
people
care about.
getting together. But no, I'm afraid that this movie's going to feel a lot like an R-rated first Guardians of the Galaxy. And I don't want that. I want to see something fresh and different from him. And I'm worried that it's going to be the same.
You
and
know
so
what? I'm not gonna lie to you, because I've seen Gunn go Gunn like full, like what he wants to
So
do with an
I
R rating, before, and it's not exactly either
great.
enjoyable or fun. So if it's an R rating version of Guardians of the Galaxy, at least I
It's
know I'm
not.
gonna have a good time.
That's fair.
And it's not gonna be over. Like, I mean,
Done.
everybody has a limit, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
sure, the jaw scene in Brightburn is fascinating to watch, but
But
Brightburn as a movie is terrible.
I think the director of Mortal Kombat put it perfectly when he talked about the movie, is that the fatalities are going to be nuts. But we know there's a limit with an NC-17 rating. So therefore we do what we can with our rating. And I love how he put it, because it's completely true.
Yeah, but that also makes me excited because, like, if there's any movie on this list that we're going to talk about right now that I would want to see an unrated cut of a movie, it would
Mortal
definitely be
Kombat
Mortal Kombat, for sure.
in a heartbeat. Now we know there's fatalities in it. Yeah.
I also believe a lot of people would have watched it with the NC-17.
Oh, fuck yeah. Are you kidding me?
You know what I mean? I think a lot of people would go to see it. I think the problem here is that they're trying to release it like it's a normal movie, which means and they made it like it was going to be released in a normal environment. And NC-17s just don't do well, and they want this to become a franchise, and so you have to make sure there is money somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the only good thing I'd say out of all these movies we're going to talk about, if they are getting a sequel whatsoever, there is a good chance they will get that sequel, because it doesn't matter how well they do in theaters right now, because of the simple fact that they're already paid out. I mean, in a sense of way. I mean, we're going to see how well they do on HBO Max, and that's how Warner Bros. Is going to determine if you're getting a sequel. If you want to see this movie get a sequel, you watch it on HBO Max. That's the determination. So, anyway, the next one, Zachary, is your favorite franchise of all time. I mean, it is by far your favorite franchise. And that is The Conjuring. The Devil Made Me Do It.
Man, let me tell you, Jacob, with me being so fascinated with the lore of The Conjuring and everything within this universe, let me tell you, I don't know jack shit's going to happen in this film.
You know, from someone who actually has seen every Conjuring film to date, I still have no idea what jack shit's going to happen in this film. So, there's
but
that.
Hey, we got a shot of the two of them together answering a telephone. Woo-hoo.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, I wasn't that excited anymore, which is a bad sign. That's a bad sign for the universe that they're creating over there in the Heights.
I'm so excited.
So amazing. Can't wait for that. Dune.
Okay. Oh boy, let's do this, because let's do this. So Dune was supposed to be on HBO Max and in theaters simultaneously. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to go see Dune, you go plant your butt in the theater, because it's not going to be on HBO Max. Legendary made sure of that.
Still a chance, depending on what happens. It could still make its release, but more than likely it will be pushed to next year.
Oh yeah.
So wouldn't count on it.
Nope. I am so saying this now. I think
But my also big opinion about Dune is I don't know why they're spending so much time on it, because it's going to be a box office failure.
The reason they're putting so much back behind it, because Warner Brothers feel like it'll be their Star Wars. They need something like that to do it. It's not DC anymore.
I get that. They also paid a very, very big hefty penny, which is why Legendary is suing them, because they put up 70% of that money, which is a lot of money. And Legendary is a small company in the grand scheme of companies out there. It's not huge, but it's, whatsoever. I also find it very fascinating that Legendary, without a doubt, will put a movie on PVOD without a second thought.
But this one,
But you know they have to care about it if they're fighting for a theatrical release.
but see, this hurts me as a fan of Legendary because there's a certain director named Guillermo del Toro who had a passion to finish a certain trilogy with them, and yet they wouldn't let him do it. But they are so in on making sure that this, no offense to Denis Villeneuve, this boring sci-fi 3-hour, 3-part trilogy epic gets in your face. When everybody wants to see a guy with a giant red fist and horns on his head go, give me a 3.
Here's the thing with like Hellboy. Hellboy, I think by the time Hellboy 3 had actually come out, it would have been so dated that people would not have enjoyed it. People would not have enjoyed it. It would have failed.
It would have been better than the one that we got.
Yep, that's for sure. There's only one good moment in that whole entire movie, and it lasts 30 seconds. But I tell you, I'll never forget it. So, you know, it's got that going for it. Also, it has a phenomenal action sequences. I mean, you can say all you want about the story. Sure, the story is trash. But the action sequences, oh my god, that dude can direct. He ruined his whole career, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, moving on. So we already talked about Matrix 4, so we're just going to continue onwards.
We really didn't talk about. I haven't really talked to you about Matrix 4. What's your thoughts and feelings on this film, Jacob? Because of the two of us, you're more a fan of Matrix than I am.
Well, no. Here's the thing. I'm more a fan of the first Matrix. The second Matrix is moderately okay. It was my favorite for a very long time. Then I grew up and I realized what actual movies were made of and what actually was good, and I realized Matrix 2 was not that. Matrix 3 is, oh, that's just a joke. Like, if they say it was a dream, I don't think I'd be mad. That's how bad that movie is that I'll be okay with saying it's a dream. And so we move on to Matrix 4, you know, and the problem with Matrix 2 and 3 is that HBO, or Warner Brothers at the time, told them they had to release another movie within 9 months. They didn't get a choice. They didn't get time to work on the script. They had to go with what they got. And we got what they had, and it wasn't great. And they did get released 9 months apart. And you can just see right there why you don't release movies, sequels, to be exact, 9 months apart.
Mm-hmm.
One, your fans had already just gotten apart. We like the wait. We complain about it all the time. But
it's worth it every time.
And we tend to go back to see it again over and over again because of that long wait. Because we want to watch it because we haven't seen a new one of those in so long. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I feel like Matrix 4 is a no-brainer that people are going to go see this. See, I think it's going to be a really heavy opening weekend.
This is what boggles my mind when it comes to Warner Brothers. They had two of the most successful fantasy series of all time under their belt. The Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter. They figured out their shit so well when it came to those 10 films, and yet they can't figure out simple solutions to making their other franchises last a little bit.
I mean, for instance, we're not even talk about it because I don't want to dive into Star Wars today, or we would. Star Wars fucking redid everything with the new stuff they're releasing right now, and it's amazing. I'm very excited.
The High Republic stuff is fantastic.
Well, not just that, just in general, laying everything out like they did in a very collinear, like a linear line, made everything just seem so much cooler.
Yeah.
And better. And can I tell you why they did that? Because Marvel makes $1 billion a movie. Every movie Marvel produces, it makes $1 billion. Well, except for Ant-Man, you know, they're only doing good old fives.
But they do a damn good job getting close, though.
I mean, it's only $500 million, and yet Captain Marvel can jump. Captain Marvel, we'll see how Captain Marvel 2 does.
Let me ask you a question, though. Is Ant-Man and Ant-Man the Wasp combined better than the last 2 Star Wars films we got?
No.
I think so.
I actually enjoyed The Last Jedi. I very much liked that movie.
So did I.
I also very much enjoyed the last Star Wars film.
Well, you can just stay in your own camp.
So I liked both of them. And Ant-Man was a fine movie. It was okay. I mean, I wasn't blown out of the water by it. I was like, okay, you're moderately okay. You know, I like Paul Rudd. Good for you for doing this. The Ant-Man and the Wasp was so fucking annoying that I hated my life the whole. I didn't hate my life the whole time of the movie, but as soon as the end credit sequence happened, it ruined it. It truly did.
You hate
It ruined
that so much.
it. No, Zachary, I have to say to you. Also, a difference between Ant-Man and Ant-Man and the Wasp and Star Wars is that Star Wars, except for Solo, has also made $1 billion every movie. So if we want to get comparing here, we should say, is Solo better than Ant-Man and the Wasps? Or is
Yes.
Ant-Man and the Wasp better than Solo?
No.
Yeah, I also think Solo is better. Yeah.
Solo's way better.
Yeah. What a horror! That's such a sad movie because they really just like we tore it apart. Like I didn't tear it apart. I mean, the world did because we were all mad at Star Wars, which makes sense. I mean, they did it for a reason. But it was such a bad movie to do it. We should have waited. We should just wait a little bit longer.
So good. It's so good. Solo's so good.
It's a good Star Wars film. It's a good.
It's a great Star Wars film, in my opinion. It's a great Star Wars film.
Exactly. Also, weird time to tell you this. This year, you have to make me watch Rogue One. I don't know when.
Oh, you're gonna watch Rogue One
because I need to actually watch Rogue One.
Yeah, you do.
Because I loved Rogue One. Okay.
Yeah.
We're so much in a tangent that I'm gonna go back to our list over here. Our listicle, okay? So Matrix 4. We talked about. No, it's actually much further down this list. I'm going in an order. There's a picture I'm following. I'm very sorry for you. Those Who Wish Me Dead. Do you know what that is?
That's Angelina Jolie's new movie.
Yes, I am very, very, very excited for this film.
I have no idea what it is.
It's her first time back to action.
Ooh.
Eternals, by the way, if anybody was wondering, she plays a high priestess being type of thing, and so she's not going to be right there in the middle of all the action. She's going to be playing I don't know how to compare it to her. You know the character in Marvel movies where she's going to be slated at in those films, and so she's playing an assassin.
Ooh.
Hunting down someone. Yeah, it looks really cool. The image, the 2-second image that we got of her sitting there in the fire, also looks amazing. So I'm really excited for that one. The Little Things.
When's it come out?
There is no release date for that one yet. I'm guessing.
Little Things looks good. I'm excited for that at the end of the month. I'm excited for that one.
The Little Things, I thought was going to be my first movie back to the movie theaters. In 2021. It's not, but I thought it was. I'm very excited to watch, though. I'm nervous, though.
So am I.
But I'm excited. I don't know what this is, so maybe you do. The Many Saints of New York.
So there was an image in the HBO Max thing. You remember seeing the kid with the blonde hair at all in the trailer? That's what that is. So The Kids of New York is the Tony Soprano film. It's about it's the story of young. Yes, it's the story of young Tony Soprano. That was supposed to be an HBO film, but they have now moved it to be a theatrically released HBO Max movie.
Gotcha. All right, the next one. Oh, the next one is good old-fashioned Mortal Kombat.
So, I want to start this one off. So, this movie went from being very, very low on my list because we haven't seen anything from it. And to be honest, video game films, still, we haven't seen the movie yet, are not exactly the best thing in the world. Except for Sonic the Hedgehog and the original Mortal Kombat film. And Resident Evil 1. That
kind of trash, still, in my opinion, but that's just me.
However,
Monster Hunter, from a non-game player, I really enjoyed. But from a game player, I'm sure it was probably trash. So, I respect you.
But those pictures they released, seeing an older Scorpion before Scorpion with the knife to his throat, when you see Hanzo with Sub-Zero before they become who they are in the combat tournament, and the origin they're going to do with Scorpion excites me to my core. Because the stuff that we see with Scorpion in Mortal Kombat 11 is so deep and so good, and they make these characters so much richer. My only thing about this movie, this picture is so dope. That picture is so good.
We'll go back to it when my screen isn't having a panic attack.
But my one issue from the article I don't know why that's so cool. So for people who don't know, Hanzo is in the front. That's Scorpion, and right behind him is Sub-Zero, and that is their first encounter because for the longest time, Scorpion has thought that Sub-Zero was the one that killed his family, and that is why he makes the deal with Quan Chi. Kung Lao, that's Kung Lao, ladies and gentlemen. That's Kung Lao, and that's Liu Kang. Black Ranger from Power Rangers, he looks so good right there as Liu Kang. He looks so good. But can you find the guy in the MMA? That looks sick.
Oh, are you talking about the one who runs the talk show host? That one? The one
No.
trended?
No. That's Jax.
Yeah. Do you know who people compared him to? Dr.
Yeah.
Phil.
No, Steve Harvey.
Steve Harvey. Well, wrong person.
Clearly, yeah. But also, fun fact, Jacob, you have seen this guy before.
He does look very familiar in his event.
He's in the CW show you watch.
Wait, is that
Jacob? That's Jimmy Olsen from Supergirl.
Oh, what?
That's Jimmy Olsen from Supergirl.
That is not Jimmy Olsen.
Yes, it is.
He must have got aged. He must have aged. Tim? Is that who you're talking about?
Yeah, okay. So this is everybody's big problem with the film so far, just from the article we've read about the film. This is a new character. He's not in the games. He's not in the lore. This is, ladies and gentlemen, this is our Johnny Cage for the movie, but his name's not Johnny Cage. This is a completely new character for the film. Johnny Cage is apparently not in this movie. This is the guy taking his place. They're getting rid of the Johnny Cage character for some reason. I don't ask me why.
Why are they getting rid of Johnny Cage?
Because I guess they feel as though that his character didn't age as well as everybody else did. Maybe, I don't know.
It doesn't matter if his character didn't age. Cassie Cage is phenomenal. You have to do the original Cage to get to the better Cages.
That's from what I've heard, that he's gonna be the Johnny Cage for this new series going forward. Anyway, so the entire basis of this film is that there's going to be a symbol on this guy's chest. It's the Mortal Kombat symbol, and that's how they find him to take him to the tournament. That's all we know from the article. We know there's going to be blood, gore, fatalities. I'm so excited for this movie. I'm so freaking excited for this movie. Oh, I'm so excited for this movie. I'm so excited.
Hey Zachary, I have it's probably the most important question you'll ever get asked in your life. Are you excited for this movie?
I'm so excited for April, Jacob. You have no idea.
All right, I'm going to very quickly look at the cast list here for Mortal Kombat and see if I can't see Johnny Cage on it.
I swear Johnny Cage is in the movie, from what I've heard.
Well, we'll find out. I'll tell you about it. So we have Sonya, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Raiden, Liu Kang, Jax, Kano, Tsung, Rashang, Cole Young. Is that the new one? Mm-hmm. Niteria, Melina, Couple, Emily Young must also be a part of that new family. No Johnny Cage though. That is what it's looking like. It's very interesting. I would want to be. I would see. These are the moments that they make. The people are like, okay, I kind of want to be there in that room, being like, yeah, you know, right?
Why?
Let's get rid of Johnny. Because I want to know the reasons why they thought Johnny Cage.
I'm you in that scenario. Why? Why get rid of Johnny Cage?
Yeah, why? Did you know James Wan produced this?
Mm-hmm.
He did not.
This is a passion project for him. He's been wanting to do it for a while.
All right, the next one is Tom and Jerry, which did move from its February release date to a March release date.
I could give two shits about this movie.
I'm looking forward to it. It looks fun.
Oh, I agree, but we'll see.
Reminiscence?
No idea.
Me either. I am curious. So we'll look off just a little bit. Reminiscence. Oh, bitch knows I totally fucked that up. Got Rebecca Ferguson.
Ooh.
Looks to be in it. A scientist discovers a way to relive your past and use the technology to search for his long-lost love.
Ooh,
So we're
so
looking
it's a
at
romance.
Rebecca Ferguson, Natalie Martinez, Hugh Jackman,
Ooh, Rebecca Ferguson and Hugh Jackman are together in the same film again?
Dottie Noonan. That looks like to be the three. It does look like we have set photo images. Lisa Joy is the one who directed and wrote. I'm gonna go figure out what she is. So it's a female-led it's a female project. So I think what's gonna be is Hugh Jackman is the one who's the scientist who can go back in time, and Rebecca Ferguson's gonna play his long lost love. I think is what it is.
Oh, that's going to be good because we already know they have chemistry from the Greatest Showman. So,
she is a writer and most known for Westworld. She wrote all the episodes. She was part of she was a creator of that television actually. And that's what she is most known for. Nope, not a lot of hope. Not a lot of hope. Also Fallout.
Wait, she wrote the game Fallout?
No. They're adapting it.
I thought Amazon was adapting it.
Yeah, she's the main writer on the TV show.
Oh.
Yep. Interesting. Did you see Hugh Jackman at all in that? That little teaser they released?
No.
I didn't see either of them. I mean, Rebecca Ferguson is in Dune as well, so if we saw Rebecca Ferguson, I guess we wouldn't, So, either way. Malignant. You know what Malignant is?
That's a new horror film from James Wan.
That is a new horror film by James Wan. This is the horror film that's infamous around the news outlets because anybody who's ever seen the film calls it literal trash. Says there's not one good thing about it. It has been rewritten, reworked, and reshot 4 times. So the only reason why this might not make it to theaters this year is I think they're just going to release it. I think they're like, we're going to put this one on the HBO Max slate so people can watch it. And if they hate it, they hate it. And we didn't lose any money from this experience because I heard it is god awful. The shot with the girl laying down and the creature coming up behind it, that's what that's from. Judas and the Messiah, the Black Messiah.
That looks really freaking good.
Looks really good. It's coming out.
That looks really good.
Weeks. It's like the beginning of February, right? Middle of February?
First or second week of February, I think.
King Richard?
This is the biopic about Serena and Venus Williams' father. This is Will Smith's movie where he's playing their father.
Oh, really?
Yeah. This sounds really good.
Okay. And then obviously we also have Space Jam, which did get a few images.
Those 2 shots we saw were dope, but I'm a little sad because Bugs Bunny is no longer 2D. He's a 3D character, and that makes me sad. It looks cool though. I'm not gonna lie. It's got my attention. They've been talking about this freaking. So yeah, as you can see, Bugs Bunny is no longer 2D animated. He is now 3D animated. And I don't like that personally. When you think of Space Jam, you think of, the 2D characters. And
when I think of Space Jam, I don't really actually think of Space Jam.
I'm excited though. Whether this movie's good or not, to me, I don't care. As long as the movie's fun, that's all that matters to me.
I mean, more than likely, we'll probably watch it.
Yeah.
I was sure we had to rewatch the first one. I don't remember it at all.
Because if you remember back a couple months ago, there was a leaked footage from this movie of you seeing Jared Leto's Joker, Joaquin Phoenix Joker, and Jack Nicholson's Joker sitting around a lunch table on the Warner Brothers lot with Godzilla behind them eating lunch with King Kong.
No,
that's the extent of Warner Brothers knowledge we're going to have in this film. It's going to be nuts. I'm excited.
You have caused me to. Oh, look at this.
Huh? This is what I was talking about. Sorry.
That's a Pennywise back there.
That's the mask.
And the mask. Very interesting. Okay. We'll see how it is. Didn't realize it's going to be that meta. All right. Well, that's the last one on that list. So that's HBO Max, HBO 2021 slate once again. In every trailer they ever release, they do specifically state that these movies are subject to change, which means they're saying they're getting them to you, but they also might not be. Now, my biggest question to you before we move over to WandaVision, because I feel like this is good enough for today's episode. Now, HBO or Warner Brothers and Pacific are going to be like, okay, now we can go back to our normal days, But they just paid out a whole bunch of people in top salary budgets.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be. I think personally, this could be the reason why movie theaters are ruined.
Yeah.
I think ultimately the problem here is, and the reason why they did it this way is because of the simple fact that nothing did, like premium access didn't do well. Mulan was a colossal failure, which I don't even know if that's because of premium access or if that's because of Mulan. You know what I mean? Because when you think about it, $30 extra for a movie, or $20 extra, I think would have been fine.
Yeah.
It's not as much you're paying. It's what you're paying to go see it in theaters, and so the pricing is not actually as ridiculous as people make it out to be. But it didn't do well,
No.
and so HBO is like, okay, that shit didn't do well, so let's put our whole slate on here for free, and that's where they messed up. If you put it behind a price wall, then you get around saying, hey, we're making people pay for it no matter what theaters. But we're also telling them to go see your movie. We're telling them it could be cheaper to just go see it, in the movies. So you should go see it in the movies instead. And so I think ultimately the fact that they didn't put it behind a price wall, I think is what ended up messing this whole thing up. It will end up fucking everything up in general, because I do believe if Black Widow does end up moving over onto Disney Plus, it will be a day in, day out release in May with its theatrical release on premium access.
Yep. You're gonna have to and I think they're gonna bring the price down too. I don't think it'll be $30.
Well,
I think they
that we do understand the $30 that you pay towards premium access, you obviously don't get to keep the movies that are getting put on there, but it's only one-time payment. You don't have to be paying for every movie. So that's good to know. I don't know if that means when your subscription renews, if that renews as well, it just continues to follow you. I'm not entirely sure. I've yet to look into it, to be honest with you.
So if I remember correctly, when Premier Access launched, it is a one-time payment. Yeah. And then if say you have your Disney Plus subscription and you get rid of it, so for us, you bought Mulan, right? On our thing. It didn't go back to Disney Plus officially. You can watch without having Premier Access till December. If say we got rid of Disney Plus before December, we would have had to have bought Mulan again.
Well, what I ask is, for instance, we renewed for another yearly subscription because who is not having a yearly subscription right now? Because of all the content they're literally dropping. I mean, they're coming for Netflix, and Netflix is like, well, I'm going to give you a movie every week. That's my response.
27 films. 27.
51 films.
No,
they're releasing a movie every weekend. There's 52 weeks in the year. You're getting 52 new films. Now, I'm not saying all these films are going to be Red Notice. I'm just saying they're releasing 52 films. Very clear on that answer there, okay? Some of these films are going to be really small.
They're going to promote the big ones when they come around. They're going to promote the big ones. When you see
they're not going to promote everyone.
The Rock.
You know what I mean? The 27 films that they shouted out, particularly in that video, they're going to promote No Tomorrow. But they're not going to be shouting out every single film, because not every single film. For instance, this weekend, the film they released was the Anthony Mackie film, where he plays a soldier. And so that's what I mean. It's like it's going to be that type of thing. You're getting a new movie every week. But when my question is, we were getting a new movie every week anyways. Like, I don't know why this is such a huge deal on one note. Besides the point. Either way, and so when our subscription renewed, when we were like, okay, we're going to do this for another year, you paid for however much it was for its yearly subscription. 70. There you go. Did not know. I was going to say 60, but I think it did get a pay raise of 10, which makes sense because all the content and things getting a little more expensive. It makes sense to run. If Premium Access followed us with our renewal, that would be my question. Or because we were not in, it did?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well then we don't have to worry about it, and then any movie that comes out this year that gets over there, we get it for free. And that's the way I look at it. Premium Access, HBO Max is like, oh, you have to pay $15 extra for all these new releases, but you want to do it once. But HBO Max, with the way they could fuck you over, is they don't have year-long subscriptions. It's only monthly unless you sign up now. You get it for 6 months, on a discounted price. So it's not even like you pay for 6 months. It's discounted price for 6 months, which means you're still paying for a new movie plus another new movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. They should release a year-long subscription, in my personal opinion. Because if someone really loves it, they would.
See, this is my thing. I don't know why Netflix doesn't do it, and I really don't know why HBO Max did it. I don't think HBO Max did it because Warner Brothers believes right now they do not have enough content to verify you paying upwards of $80 a year for their content.
See, I feel like they do.
I'm not talking about their older content. I mean about new content coming up.
I mean, of all the streaming services that we have right now, which is all of them,
they have the best library.
They have the best library, and that includes new content. Everything I watch that's like, oh, watch this, it's new, I enjoy. I think it's great. I've never been disappointed by an HBO Max original. I cannot say the same about Netflix or Disney. Disney's put out some good clunkers over there.
Speaking of Disney Plus, they put out a gem this past Friday. What a transition that was. Good job, Zach.
So I'm going to start this conversation because Zachary got to talk about it for 3 minutes straight, and when we talk one thing and what means for 20 seconds. WandaVision. Oh, WandaVision. Now, out of the two of us, who's been more excited for this? Me. Which is true. I talked about way more than you. You had your favorite. I had my favorite. I mean, in trailer reactions, when they dropped all the trailers, WandaVision still was in the top. I mean, Loki was new, and I was still like, WandaVision. And it's paying out. It was so beautiful. I laughed so hard. But also, interestingly enough, I can understand why people are not liking it. There's something to say about also looking at reviews and stuff for it. People, ironically, Marvel does have a hate base. It does have people that don't like it, which I guess because it's behind a TV show, it's harder to wall those people out. With a movie, 80,000 people are going to go review it. But the TV show, it takes a long time. Some people don't review it until all 9 episodes are out. Because you don't get the full picture or whatever. And so a lot of the comments were just like, "I fucking hate Marvel. This was shit." And I was like, okay, that's a bit aggressive. Like, did you see the acting? The acting was top notch. It's some of the best acting Marvel's had in years. I'm just kidding. No, Endgame is phenomenal. Acting, Marvel has never had a problem with. But, like, this is like Emmy-worthy.
It's so good.
Television.
Catherine Hahn had 2 major scenes in this show. 2. Nominated her already. Honestly, it's so.
Elizabeth Olsen.
Oh my! No, for me, Paul Bettany is the fucking standout of this show. I don't know what happened and where Mark. Huh?
I think for them, I mean, we were very curious why they were going to be called WandaVision. We knew this TV show about Wanda. We didn't really expect it to be about Vision, and it is definitely about both of them.
And it's equal too. Like no one gets like more than the other. It's really, 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 really well put together. But no, it boggles my mind that Marvel goes, okay, these really funny people, we're going to give them serious roles for a while, and then eventually they'll get the comedic chops. And bravo, because Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany are just so fucking funny.
It is very funny. I didn't laugh at every joke. For instance, the head joke that people surely were dark. I didn't even realize it was a joke until I got on Twitter the next day. So that seems to be an issue, if I say so myself. Because I was like, "Oh my god, you did crush his head! Oh my god, his head!" Which brings me back. Okay, so we love it. It's phenomenal. We'll go through the 2 episodes here in a second. But before we jump into the story, before we jump into our favorite moments from episode 1, oh my god, I keep hitting the microphone. My hands are going to go over here. Episode 1 and episode 2. I want to talk about some theories real fast because I got a few. Okay. Well, I don't have theories, I should say. I have a few. What could happen? Like, where is this going? And I want to put my guesses out there now. Okay. So ultimately, in the first 2 episodes, and I'm assuming the first 3 or 4 episodes, we see a perfect couple. They are perfect. Like, this is honeymoon stage 24/7. Never a fight, never a bad moment. And we do know they fight because we've seen it in clips that there's an episode coming up within the next few weeks. They're going to be getting into like a huge fight as a couple. And so as the world starts to deteriorate and she is pulled out of her mind, which I'm assuming that's where we're at right now. She's asleep somewhere and we're inside her brain. I don't know how they're sending people inside. I still haven't figured all that stuff out yet. I have a few theories.
So do I.
About a few characters that have been cast in before the TV show that I have a feeling they're playing, but that's besides the point. But with this, as we get closer and closer to the end, we are fighting for their love as much as they're fighting for their love because they truly love each other. I mean, there is no doubt anybody who watches this TV show. I mean, if they were like Paul Bettany and Elizabeth Olsen, which are not, they're respectively with other people and things, but they came out, they're like, we're getting married. We would be like, yeah, you are. You're Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper all over again. We believe it. You sold me, type of thing. They're like so in love,
It's so good.
And so as the TV show progresses, and as more and more characters get brought in, such as their 2 babies, which we know are coming in this week's episode, I'm so excited for them to be born. That's the point. I'll forget about later. They're going to get taken away, which is the whole reason why this is happening. But also, I totally didn't think about it. Vision is dead.
Yeah.
He can't come back. Like, the babies can be brought out of this because they're full-fledged characters or whatever, but Vision is gone. Like, I don't think they can put Vision out of her brain.
No, Vision's gone. I think that'll be the moment of where she just finally goes, he is gone. And that's when reality really starts to snap in her head.
The moment that truly, and I didn't even pick it up. Like, we've seen trailers of people being like, but you're dead. And I didn't even think about it. Like, truly, it wasn't until someone was like, his head literally blew apart. And I was like, oh my God, you're right. His head literally did blow apart.
His head exploded. Thanos came in, reverse time, just to pluck it out. Vision's gone.
I didn't even think about it, and I was like, "Wait, no! They brought him back in Endgame. It was a whole thing." But no, he didn't dust. He freaking did. I was like, "Oh my God!" You have to understand. I've been reeling with this for like it's past like 6 hours because I'm just like, "Oh my God!"
Right? This entire show is around this couple, to where half the couple is not even really there. So, like, the pregnancy she's putting on, all on her own. Everything she's doing with him is not real.
Then you have with the fact that we know. I mean, there is no way they're going to give up. Like, the whole reason, if you guys don't know what this is based on, what they're trying to do here, I think there is a few different source materials being used in...
But House of M is the big one.
But House of M is definitely the big one here. And, I do like how Grace did coin the term neighborhood of M. I like that. It does fit very well for this whole thing. But if you guys have never read House of M, which is the most famous Scarlet Witch comic to ever come out, it's amazing. Highly recommend it. It's pretty old, but you can get your hands on it. I think it's on like Comixology or whatever.
And also, due to the release of WandaVision, Marvel is re-releasing a trade paperback version of House of M and the Vision storyline that you can go read.
Also, Vision, where it's all red people on the cover or whatever. You'll know it when you see it when you type in Vision. Also very phenomenal. Highly recommend. Both are big influences, as we can tell, throughout this whole thing. But I'm going to spoil House of M. For anybody who does want to read it, just go ahead and mute yourself real fast and come back when, I don't know, when you feel comfortable. Sure, when Zachary claps. That's what he's deciding. Okay. Basically, the ending of House of M, how she decides, I'm going to destroy the world, which is essentially what she's going to be doing at the end of this, which, spawns off into those sequels or whatever, is what the assumption is. We could be all wrong. This could end happily. I don't see it being the case, but,
No.
Whatever. It's okay if we know the ending. It's about the journey. It's not really about where we're going. Is her children get taken away from her. Vision is dead. Gone. Her last thing she's holding on to, the last thing she created herself in the eyes of both her, we have her brother who is dead, all these people, and she's making them about them that she loves, and they get taken from her. And then she's like, okay, okay, you're doing this? All right, I'm going to kill everybody. And so it's just going to be so sad. These last few episodes are going to be so sad. It's going to be so interesting because the first few episodes are so funny. And you're going to get to the final episode and you're just going to be like, holy fuck, shit is going crazy.
The changing of tone in this show from the beginning to the end is going to be the best thing to visually watch happen. Because you can see the slow descent of madness from her going from this happy to practically where she is now at the end game now, post end games, when we get to see her at the end of the show. And so here's my theory about good old WandaVision. So we're in her mind, right? We are in her mind. We are somewhere in her mind. We don't know how we got there. I've always thought that Doctor Strange was going to be the person we see at the end of the show, leading into his show. It is still possible, yes. But now we know that there is a possible way for them to start bringing in the M word into the show. Possibly. I think now, my theory, there is only one person in the Marvel Universe besides her that can go into people's minds. And I'm saying this right now. If they do this, if Kevin Feige has the balls to do this, I will flip shit. What if at the end of the show, they don't say his name, we just see a guy in a wheelchair that is bald. And we see him turn around and go, I can't do it. She won't let me in. And it's him, and it's X. And through the manipulation of her mind, she brings the mutants in without even saying a word. With the split of the multiverse, he is the one there trying to get into her mind to bring her home. Because he knows it's Wanda.
I don't know, because here's the thing.
How big of a mind fuck would that be?
I feel like it's a possibility. Okay, I'm not gonna rule it out. She is no longer a mutant, but she is originally a mutant. She comes from the mutant mind. Her character in MCU isn't, but her originality is a mutant.
Yes. And so that's why I'm saying that.
If that does happen, that has to be at the end of episode 8.
Yeah.
Because episode 9, or even who knows how long we're outside of her mind. The first 6 episodes could be in her mind, and the last 3 episodes could be the exploration of what's happening, outside of her mind, when she breaks through. And we get this whole chaoticness, or maybe the final 2 episodes are, or whatever. We don't know exactly how the timeline is going to go here, but her powers are what breaks open, the multiverse.
The multiverse, yeah.
And things. And so I don't really know if it's possible for him to be there.
But how cool would it be, though?
I know, but I get where you're coming from, and I do relate, and I do think it's a fun idea, but I don't know how possible it truly is.
I know, but because
he has to be awake in order to actually split it apart the timelines. I'm very curious to see how that happens, how she gets to that point of where she is, like where she wakes up and she's like, do her children go missing? Are we going to get a missing child episode of where her children are gone and Vision's nowhere to be seen and the whole world around her is like on, burning, and then she wakes up and she realizes it's because
if you remember, Well, if you remember, there was a shot in the trailer where we see Wanda in full color sitting on the couch, and we see her trying to fix everything around her.
The colors thing, we also have Wanda when she touches the Mind Stone, which we believe is the Mind Stone. It might not be the Mind Stone, but there's a good chance it might be the Mind Stone, and she gets thrown backwards or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of things I'm not entirely sure where exactly they piece together.
You know, I have another thing. You just brought this up, the Mind Stone.
Sure.
What if we're not in Wanda's head? What if this is all going on inside of dead Vision's head? What if Wanda is making a world in Vision's head to where he became an actual human and, or is living the human life, and this is all going inside Vision's head?
Now,
she was able to reconstruct the Mind Stone. What if that's the case? Because we've seen the Mind Stone. I think that's the Mind Stone.
I think there is a chance. Now, I think personally, I think everything's connected. Okay. Yeah. Also, I want to talk about at some point when we get to the actual episodes. We're still brainstorming here on ideas, but I think I think the idea here is by the end, maybe that's how she wakes up. Her touching the Mind Stone. I think that's there. I think it's in the world. I think it's in her mind because it's the one thing that powered him. It's the one thing, that connected them. It was this whole entire thing. And so I think it's there. I think it's not outside. I think it's in her mind. And I only believe it's her mind because of different colors and stuff they've used in the past for like the reds and stuff. That is Wanda.
That's fair. That's fair.
Wanda is red. The other color, which has been popping up, I'm assuming is whatever else is, I don't know if it's Sword. I don't know if it's Hydra. I don't know if it's Stark. Who knows what it is?
It's Agatha.
Agatha, there's also been rumors that Agatha is actually not Agatha, and that Agatha is a different person altogether, and that she's a Hydra agent, and so we're going to be playing the game of, guess the, what is that called?
Guess the Hydra?
No, what was your, we just talked about for a long time.
Mutant?
No. Captain Marvel.
Oh, Skrull?
Guess your Skrull, but instead guess your Hydra agent, guess your Sword agent, who's there trying to get Wanda to wake up or Wanda out of wherever she's at, or who's there to try to get Wanda to go somewhere else. Which side will she listen to the most? Her best friend or her new best friend? I find that to be very fascinating. I'm very curious to see if they do any with that. They might not. We could be theorizing nothing.
How sad would it be if the end of the series is a recreation of the ending of Infinity War, and the only way she'll wake up is if she cracks the Mind Stone again for Vision, and he tells her it's okay? How sad would that be? If that's how she wakes up, she cracks the Infinity Stone again.
It would also... All right, so before we jump into the end credits, because I do want to jump into the end credits for a second there. I think there's a lot. I think there's a lot of things there. A lot of Easters,
I agree.
A lot of hidden messages in between the cracks. Tell me your favorite part about episode 1. We already talked about, but you can talk about it again.
My favorite part of episode 1 is the transitional scene during dinner. When you see the shots go from being the traditional sitcom, shots to the long lingering shots. If you remember, the most famous scene of the first teaser is when you hear, I don't know her name at all, so I'm just going to call her That 70 Show's mom.
It's hard.
Is when she's going, is when she goes, stop it. And in the trailer, she was looking all funny and stuff. We didn't know what was going on. But in the scene, we see that Mr. Hart is choking, and this is not part of Wanda's reality. He's dying there. Hence why she asked Vision to heal him. But the way she slowly transitions from being all funny about saying stop it to being about in tears, begging Wanda to stop doing this to whatever she's doing, killed me. It was so good. And then when she just slowly just goes, Wanda, Vision, help him.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, that's very interesting. I never really thought about it that way before. That
just watch her. She goes from being very funny about saying it to being very, very timid and crying and saying stop it while looking at her. It's the same way Dottie reacts to her at the when Dottie and Wanda are talking. She gets very, very scared.
What I'm saying is, I never thought about when she's saying "stop it." You know, they make it seem like it's a joke, and so it's like she's talking to her husband. Stop it! You're not actually choking. Stop it! But she's talking to Wanda.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even put that together. If she is, you know, who knows? But I do agree. I think that is right, because then once again, when Dottie's like, I don't trust you. You know, you're frightening. You scare me, or whatever. Interesting. Very interesting. And then the two people who are not scared are both Agatha, and she knows a lot.
Monica.
And Monica, who is, I can't remember her name in the TV show. With
Geraldine.
Geraldine, you know, Geraldine's curious. She's trying to understand. Whereas Agatha already feels like, I think she knows everything already.
She knows.
You know what I mean? And so, very interesting. Okay. My favorite part of episode 1, I don't know. See, I like that part. Like, I thought it was very cool. I thought I enjoyed a lot of that. But I also really liked them figuring out why there was what the heart was. Like the typical sitcom part of the episode. And then both getting it wrong.
Uh-huh.
I really enjoyed that. I also really liked it because on one hand, yeah, that's a typical like relationship thing. It's a real life problem that relationships go through. You mark something on a calendar and you make it a stupid, object thinking you're going to remember it 6 months from now, and you don't. Or they literally don't know because they just got there. We're going into this world with them. And so I really like that. That was probably my favorite thing. I really liked the dinner scene as well. I thought it was very well done.
And they also, in my opinion, have the best line during that scene. You can move at the speed of light, and I can move things with my mind. Why do we have to abbreviate?
Exactly. Yeah. I really truly liked that. I thought that was like such a great line. Because he was like, remember we just drew a heart? Why did we draw a heart? Yeah.
Now, episode 2. So episode 1 feels like Dick Van Dyke meets I Love Lucy. Episode 2 is very much a Bewitched episode. From the intro to the way the camera moves. You can definitely tell a switch in eras between the 50s and the 60s. Episode 2 was my favorite of the two. I very much liked episode 2 more of the two.
I mean, episode 1 is set up. Episode 2 is where things start to happen. I mean, obviously, it's more interesting. This is the one with the plane, the one with the line. Oh, look at you. The role, the star of the show. And then Wanda being like, what? Like, do you know that I'm the one doing this? I also, side note, before we jump back to that, I do love the fact that when Sword, I'm assuming it's Sword, is watching the sitcoms.
So cool.
They're actually watching sitcoms. Like she's putting on sitcoms to them. I found that to be so cool.
It felt very Inception.
How she did it. She was like, I learned from American sitcoms. That's how I'm doing this. I'm building this like an American. I love it. It's more layered.
It felt very Inception. Like, okay, like they're watching it, we're watching it, they're watching it, and they're watching it. I'm like, okay.
But back to that, it had some great lines in it. I like seeing Anya. That's always fun. She doesn't get a lot of work.
Great.
It's very nice. She looks like she has a big role. We do know she transfers over to color because there's a few shots and later on trailers where we didn't really know who they were. She actually reminds me a lot of Agatha from the comics. The way she's looking like, the way she's dressed. Like maybe she's actually Agatha.
So then who is...
Like I said, there's a member of Hydra. You'd have to look it up. No, it's a B-list character. It's not like a big character or whatever. Who Catherine Hahn could be. She's a high up agent. Like she works, she goes out and she does things for them. And so I think it's possible that Dottie is Agatha. And then maybe she's a Hydra agent. So you have one best friend that's a Hydra agent, and the other best friend also is a Sword agent. And then you have the manipulator in the middle, the one who's controlling everything. Because why in the world did Wanda not make herself Queen Bee? She could have done that. She made this world, supposedly. we're theorizing. But she made somebody else. She made it seem like it's a sitcom.
But also, why would she want to put herself at the center of attention, though?
Exactly. It's like she's trying to set herself up to fail.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's
also.
Oh,
yeah, no, right? Very fascinating.
oh,
right?
Oh, that's good. That's good, Jacob. That's good.
I've had a long time to think about it. Also, I do love how the whole episode for the second episode was building up to them having children. Everything was about children. For the children. The talent show was about children.
I never got that until I watched it the second time.
Like, how everything was about kids. Why didn't they have kids? And to be honest with you, they probably didn't have kids to begin with because one is like, we're kids. Why do we need kids? Whatever. Same thing with wedding rings.
Yeah.
Oh my God. The wedding ring scene.
That was so cute.
That was everything. That was great. I loved it. But episode 2, back to episode 2. I really liked the magic show. I thought it was really well done. I thought they did such a good job.
When he's levitating there and she goes, wait a minute. No. I can do this. See? And then the best one, though, was the hat trick. He goes, ha, ha, ha. The mirror's behind him. Oh.
My favorite one was by far the piano.
that was my grandmother's piano.
I really like the piano. I thought that was a great one. I also do love how they took the analogy having gum in your gears and making it like a real thing.
And also being so faithful to the animation style of back then when they did that kind of stuff for it. So well done. Oh.
I'm also really enjoying how meta they are because they know they're Wanda and Vision. It's not like they don't know who they are.
No.
And so Vision's like, oh, I don't eat. Not during in between meal times. You have this piece of gum. I mean, yeah, it's whatever scientific thing he said. Then he eats it and he's like, oh, I cannot have this gum. No, I was wrong. And then
when the guy smacks him in the back.
Like,
and then
stuff.
The ending, beautifully transitioning from the 60s to the 70s, back to Technicolor, and just watching everything change the color. Her, and if you realize their clothes they're wearing corresponding to the character, she's wearing all red, he's wearing yellow and green.
We also have to mention it. I do feel like we should mention it. The Beekeeper. Now, the Beekeeper, there is a villain in old things. I've learned this through Grace. I did not know this. There was a Beekeeper. It's called Swarm. It's a Spider-Man villain or something like that. But which is interesting. Do you think the Beekeeper will be back? Because I don't think so.
I don't either. I think it was so everybody's been wondering what the symbol on his back is. That is the sword. If you don't know Marvel Comics, that's the sword. That's the sword logo. And if you don't know who the sword is, they were first mentioned within the MCU at the end of Far From Home when we see Nick Fury in space. Sword is that giant ship that he is on. In the MCU, Sword and Skrulls are working together to get the important people out of harm's way. Hence why Nick Fury is on the ship. And so Beekeeper, I think, is just a subtle nod. I don't think it's anything important. When we see him again,
I find it to be very interesting. But do you think we'll see him again?
We might, maybe in a Spider-Man film as like a small villain that he fights and then puts away. Maybe. Other than that, I don't think so.
I mean, I'm not asking to see it again, but I do find it very interesting. Once again, it had another moment, just like the dinner moment. That moment was its dinner moment. They had
Vision was terrified
with the tree branch, and then him going out there being like, "Oh, if it's that tree branch again, I'm just gonna throw it out of the yard." And then she's storming out, and then them realizing, no, it's someone coming out of the sewer. Do you think the sewer is a way to get in?
Maybe.
Like, it's someone they sent in. She realized, no, I'm not doing this. I'm not ready for this to be real. And then she says no. She rewinds time. She rewinds a tape for the sitcom like it never happened, erasing it completely. How amazing is that? Like, How amazing is that? And it never happened. He never got in. She didn't let him in because it's gone. It was erased from the videotape.
So good.
She recorded over it.
It's so good.
I mean, this writing is just it's so good.
And I love these tense moments because you can hear it in Wanda's voice when she switches from being in the sitcom to being back in reality. So when she goes, no, and just reverses, I'm like, oh, she is just slowly, just inches away from going.
And I think when we transfer back, I think when we go into color, I think that's when everything's gonna get kind of wild. Because before she could control everything because it was in black and white. It was in one area. And now that we're transferring between black and white to color, this is obviously going to be something that is going to be used in future episodes. Just based on things that we've seen. We know the world can go back to black and white. We don't know why.
If she wants to.
Or maybe it's somebody else trying to manipulate her. Like I said, there's a force in there that is telling her, one, to have babies. Someone, I don't actually think she was thinking, oh, I'm going to have a child. I think she was manipulated into thinking, I'm going to have babies. Because there's been people in timelines past in like Marvel Comics that want to breed certain characters together, or just one character in her sense, but certain characters together to get the powers of that person, or whatever. And so maybe something like that. And that's why she has babies. Something is manipulating her. And so maybe somebody is like, oh, time for black and white again. I'm very curious. I have a lot of theories. This is so fun. I'm so happy to be back.
Do you think now, I'm not saying Doctor Strange. Do you think Stephen Strange could show up in her reality as a character?
Now, I feel like if Doctor Strange I feel like the only person who could possibly wake her up could be Doctor Strange, and maybe that's the mistake he makes, and that's why he's like, okay, I gotta go find people who are a part of this because
fix his problem.
I gotta fix my problem. I woke her up. I did the thing that I was, that everybody's like, you gotta do it, and then he did it, but he does it at a wrong time because her children get taken away, her love of her life gets taken away. Boom.
What if they wake her up just as they're being taken away?
Or what if, now it's kind of crazy,
but also coming to Disney Plus. What if?
Yes, in summer of 2021. But what if instead of taking away her children get lost in there? She gets torn apart from them. Instead of it being like a missing child thing, she gets torn apart from Vision again. Now, we do know for a fact that her children will be back, so maybe this is a reality she can go back to. And maybe that's how it's all solved. Maybe at this very moment in time, but maybe by the end of Doctor Strange, like, hey, okay, you need to calm down. Guess what? I got you a secret hole. You see this hole right here? You can go into it. And that's where your family is. That's where your peace is. If you want to go back, you can go back. And then maybe she makes the decision to go see them again. Or maybe she's like, no. Also, good question, because she is the villain of Doctor Strange 2 in the Multiverse of Madness. How is she not the villain? I mean, that's what we're setting up here. We're seeing a villain being made. Or not like an anti-villain.
But we also know that Baron Mordo is in Doctor Strange 2. So we don't know if she... I think it'd be kind of weird to make Baron Mordo the secondary villain and make her the main. But it would make sense in this case for her to be the main villain of the movie.
If she's not, like, it could also be, my question was, do you think she's going to die? We'll get back to it in one quick second. My thing here, because why not Cinderella something epic? She's an epic character. This is a way to remember her by doing this. You know what I mean? And then her kids get to live on for her, We're moving forward throughout this timeline, and people are dying, and some people are coming back. Chris Evans, where are you at? But my point being, what happens? Like, she's gonna pop up in Spider-Man. We know that. We're 96% sure. We don't know if exactly, but like they're all connected, so we're assuming she's gonna pop up in Spider-Man. What happens if she's not really in Doctor Strange? What happens if she's not there until like the big third act? Like the other character you just mentioned, I don't know that name off the top of my head.
Baron
What
Mordo.
what happens if he's the main villain up until the end, and then we get to the actual ending? Like we're doing something with him for whatever reason it is. I'm not sure. And then WandaVision, because he has to stop WandaVision. Doctor Strange believes he's the only one who can, because he's the one who did this, we're assuming. And so it ends with him stopping Wanda. Now, I've seen this done in several different ways. We can transfer back to Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which is being used a lot in media right now, whereas Xander talked Willow down from when Willow went, like she wanted to destroy the world because her loved one they did a house of them basically over there. Or I've also seen it where the person dies, where they've gone so mad and they can't figure out how to come back to reality that they actually die. There's no other choice. And then you left with Doctor Strange possibly having to murder someone to save the world and refix the world again. Now, also, another question. Sorry, I know I have a lot of questions for you. You're going to get to go on your big, long answer here in a second. If they kill Wanda, if they do, I'm not saying they're going to. I really hope they don't with all this, all this greatness. Would they be able to fix the multiverse?
No.
They share the same magic. We know they're from the same magic, but Wanda is 10 times more powerful than Doctor Strange. How would they be able to piece that back together?
So I'm thinking, if you remember from Doctor Strange, they implemented a power that Doctor Strange and the Ancient One have, that most sorcerers do, that they can relieve their soul of their body and go the astral plane. That is where Doctor Strange and the Ancient One have their final conversation together.
Sure.
What if Doctor Strange feels the only way to get her out is to leave her body in a mind-numbing position, but releases her soul back into the human world, her astral form? And what if when he does that, it breaks her mind because they're not together, and that splits the multiverse? And so the adventure of Doctor Strange 2 is seeing Doctor Strange chase after the astral form of Scarlet Witch, trying to get back to her kids through the multiverse. And the final battle is an astral version of Doctor Strange against an astral version of Wanda to get her back into her body to make the multiverse whole again.
To be honest with you, that's not a bad idea. It's actually a pretty good idea for you. Normally you have some very big clunkers over there, so I'm actually quite impressed with your brain telling over there.
I really thought about that while you were talking.
I think I don't know how much I would enjoy it, if I'm being honest with you. Just because I don't feel like it's going to be big enough. You know?
No. As they go through the multiverse, she's in her astral form. But when they get to that multiverse, she's back in her human form again. So when they jump between multiverses, it's only when they're stuck between the astral plane. That's when she's in her true God form. And when they go through the multiverses, he has to fight her as a human. But her power level is on a low because it's not her actual full body. It's not her full power. It's when they're in the astral plane that she's in full God form. Same thing with him. That's where his powers are the strongest, is in the astral form.
I don't know. We will see. We also have no idea how this ends. This is all complete theorization.
It's so good to be back with Marvel. I'm so happy.
All right. We got to move on. We got to move forward. Our first podcast is getting kind of long up in there.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Jacob, you want to talk about movie commentaries?
We sure will. Don't you worry, for anybody who's curious. We talked about it 4 times already tonight, but we'll do it again. Zachary, what have you been watching?
Okay, so I started a new show with my girlfriend Becca. She loves the junior side of Disney very, very much. It's her favorite thing because she likes that aspect of Disney still. And I think Disney is at its best when it still does kids content. I think it's still at its core best when it does that stuff. And if you remember a show, Jacob, Phineas and Ferb, from back in our day on Disney Channel, there was a new show a couple years ago that they released called Milo's Murphy's Law. And what this show, if you don't know what Murphy's Law is, if anything bad will happen around a person, it'll happen. So this entire show is based around this kid named Milo, played by Weird Al Yankovic, who, whenever this kid does anything, is around something, the inevitably bad thing that happened will happen. But this was set within the Phineas and Ferb universe. Dr. Doofenshmirtz from Phineas and Ferb is now his roommate in this show. He lives with his parents and his sister. And they dealt with these things called pistachions, which are pistachio aliens. It's really, really, really weird, but it's really, really, really funny. It reminds me of old classic Disney Channel, and I'm very much enjoying that. So I watched that a little bit with her. I'm actually starting this show from the beginning soon. I finished DuckTales, the run that we currently have right now for DuckTales. Loved it. It was very, 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 very good. And it ended with a Darkwing Duck special. Very funny. WandaVision, obviously. I've seen The Prom. I'm not kid you. 4 times in the past 3 days. I can't stop watching it. It's a problem now. It's no longer like, oh, I'm just enjoying myself. No. Whenever I'm bored, it just goes on. I can't not do it. It just has to be there. I just have to hear music. So that's what I've been doing with that. I watched Justice League because that's one of Becca's favorite DC movies. And so we watched Justice League together. And Jacob, I want Zack Snyder's cut right now, please. I want it. I want it bad. That opening with Superman, man.
I just wanted for you to show Becca so she can actually see what actual good movies are.
Same, because that opening, man, with Superman. Oh boy.
Either way.
I watched Venom. Love Venom still. Venom's really good. I finished Earthrise. I am clapping right now because I'm going to do a little bit of a spoiler right here for Earthrise. The ending of this show made me geek out so hard because the last shot of this show, we see Dinobot from Beast Wars do a cybernetic eye thing from Beast Wars. And I'm like, we're going to see Beast Wars in May. And I'm very, 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 very happy. 1989 Batman, obviously because of the car. I watched it this past weekend along with Returns. And Returns is still better of the two. Let's see what else. I think that's it. I could be wrong. No, that's it. And 2 minutes of Wonder Woman 1984 and a minute of Batman vs Superman.
Fuck you. So, are you going to ask me a question?
Hey, Jacob, what have you been watching?
Thank you for that question.
You're welcome.
Such a great question. I watched the rest of Sabrina.
Ooh, how was it?
No.
Was bad?
Wasn't great.
Did it feel rushed?
It didn't feel rushed. I kind of agree with the ending. I understood it, but I also was really pissed off, just like the whole rest of the world was. Like it was like a mutual pissed off. I think the whole fandom was just like, oh, okay, and we're not going to get anything for this. This is it. This is what we're doing. Okay, Great. That's great. Like it's to the point where it's just another television show. We're gonna get into another one of those. I watched a lot of series finales this week, for these past few weeks, where it was just not great. It wasn't fun. It was just like, why am I watching this? It feels like a chore. I obviously watched the cult hit or the classic now, Bridgerton, on Netflix. I did watch Bridgerton, and I liked it. It was fun. I'll watch season 2 for sure. Why not? 10 hours. I also I watched a little bit of a TV show called The 100, and I'm gonna. Zach, could you clap real fast? Do some clapping. Thank you. For anybody who doesn't understand, clapping means spoilers. Until you hear.
Jacob, can I ask real quick? Can I ask a question real quick? Should I remove one of my headphones because you might scream?
I'm not gonna scream.
Okay.
So clapping means spoilers. So if you've never seen The Last of Us not The Last of Us, Jesus fucking Christ, The 100 season 7 yet, please mute yourself until you hear. Well, I guess if you're listening to us, I'm very sorry.
Just see me do this.
But if you're watching us, just wait till Zachary claps. Okay, the 100. Oh, the 100. So I went into this. Okay, I'm gonna set it up for you. I knew this was bad. Like, I was told 1,000 times before I saw this that this was bad. So I had the expectations of thinking this was gonna be horrible. Whole 9 yards. I'm like 10 episodes in. I'm like, I'm thoroughly enjoying myself. Do I think the timeline is complete and utter shit? Yes. Do I think it's confusing? Yes. Do I not really understand what's going on? Well, yes. But am I curious? Am I asking questions? Am I intrigued? Can I not stop watching it? Yes. Yeah. And then, so early on, probably episode 4, 5, they kill Bellamy Blake, which Zachary doesn't watch the 100, so he doesn't understand what Bellamy is to the 100. Bellamy is a character that's from the very beginning. He has one of the best. Actually, I wouldn't say that. He has one of the best arcs I've ever seen in television. If not him, then it's definitely not Jackson. The other one. You guys all know. If you watch a TV show, you know who I'm talking about. And they kill him, and I was like, okay, sure, why not? He's not dead. I know he's not dead. Like, the way they killed him, it was so obvious that he wasn't going to be actually dead. But when he showed back up, and they turned him into a cultist, yeah, no, I was not okay with this. Okay? And then, when they went further into confirming that cults are real, and you should believe in them, and that's the whole point of this television show, still was not okay with this. To have his actual wife in real life shoot him and kill him in the TV show. Killing one of the best relationships I've ever seen in television right there for me to watch. Yeah, I was not okay with it. Did I finish the TV show? Because it happened 2 episodes before the finale. Yeah, best believe me, I did. Was I disappointed? Yeah, best believe. Not only, okay, Clark has been through so much shit, okay? Like, I mean, literally, you can think of the worst thing that you've ever done in your life, the worst thing that's ever happened to you. You times that by 1,000, you're still not to the level that they put Clark through. It's horrible. It's truly torture porn. It's torture porn, okay? Seeing what they do. It's horrible, okay? And the whole point of this TV show, the whole point of this last season is about grief. I mean, that's the whole point. You're losing a loved one, you're losing a brother, you're losing your mom, you're losing, the person you think you're in love with, you're losing, you lose a lot of people, essentially. To the point where someone dies, and the only thing you can think about doing, because you don't have another day, you put them inside your mind. So you can forever live with them, and you can die with them as your mind literally shatters.
Oh, that's depressing.
So you don't have to live with them ever again. So you're always with them no matter what. That's the whole thing. They kill her daughter. In front of her. They kill her mom in front of her. They kill the person she's supposed to be with. I don't care about you, Lux fans. I like her too, but it's definitely a Bellamy. It's Bellamy. They make her kill Bellamy. And the only reason why Bellamy died, from what I understand, is that there was behind the scenes drama. And the writer of the TV show was mad at him. And so he's like, I'm going to kill him off. And he did.
He pulled a Joey from Friends.
Also, I would like to mention, and I just want to mention it right now, that what is up with TV shows being like, bitches be crazy? I don't know if I talked about it or not on here. Fatale had a bitches be crazy moment. Game of Thrones is the definition of bitches be crazy. And now we have the boy version of Game of Thrones, which is the 100, which, now you think about it, when you really start to take it apart, wow, they really were just like, we're going to do it. We're going to make him Amelia, but we're going to kill him earlier. And that's what they did. They made him Amelia Clark. They ruined his whole entire story. For what? Shock value? And then then it was true. They went up and they became celestial planes. That's how this TV show ends, is that they become light? Literal balls of light? I'm not you. I wish I was joking. I wish I'd be like, yeah, Zachary, I'm fibbing to you. They're not light, but they're literal balls of light. That's the ending of this TV show. You know what's worse than human race? You know what? You know how to get away from wars and punishment and death? Become light. Yeah, Zachary, become light. Are you gonna become light? Are you gonna do it? Because I'm not gonna do it. Yeah, they become fucking light.
Do they like live in houses and communicate with people as balls of light?
I mean, they don't exactly not do that.
Please tell me you're kidding.
You don't see the houses, but how else are they going to communicate with one another? But on a side note, from the 100, like still with the 100 or whatever, there's an episode in here, it's like episode 8 or something, that wraps everything up, like connects all the storylines together, and it gave me cold chills. So on one note, this was phenomenal. Go watch the 100. But also on another note, they become balls of light. And I don't really know if I can recommend a TV show where the literal ending is balls of light. And you have a cult. You have a literal physical cult that ends the world, that destroys Earth the first time, to come back and be true. What he believes is true is true. They become light. I'm sorry. I was like, okay, so we believe in cults. That's the moral of the story, is to trust your cult leader. When he says drink the Kool-Aid, drink that motherfucking Kool-Aid. So I watched the 100. There's that. What else did I watch? Oh, I watched Ammonite, which is a lesbian love story with Kate Winslet and Saoirse Ronan.
Was it good?
Directed by the man who did God No Country, which if you're gay, you know what that is. If you're not gay and you like the circuit round, you might know what it is. But that would be the only reason why you would know why it exists. And oh my god, it was all right. I mean, I'd probably give like a 6. It was fine. The acting was great. Like there was no dialogue for like long periods of time in the movie. It was just looks that they were both giving each other, and they were muting, and you could feel every emotion in a no dialogue scene. So yeah, they both connect. We knew that though.
Yeah.
Also, for anybody out there who likes really, really extremely graphic sex scenes, I mean, softcore porn, graphic sex scenes. There you go. Did not realize I saw Kate Winslet naked. I've never seen Kate Winslet naked. I've seen Titanic like 1,000 times. I always miss the scene. I don't know how my body does it, but it knows it's coming and it's not happening. And yeah, I watched this one fucking movie and it ruins it because I've seen her completely naked and she has good boobs. Good for her though. Like that's a compliment. So yeah.
Are you gonna compliment the other woman in this scenario, or are you just gonna go bad?
I just saw her butt. Yeah, Saoirse Ronan. I just saw her butt. Yeah, but it was real graphic. I know that doesn't sound like it'd be really graphic, but it was really, really graphic. It was like 6 minutes long. The sex scene was. Yeah. And things. So
I know what that sound is.
Either way, I watched that. We're gonna be watching Promising Young Woman tomorrow, which I'm really, really excited about. I have really, really high hopes for that. What else? Did I watch anything else? I might not have watched anything. I'm sure I did. I'm sure we watched other movies or something like that.
Have you watched The Prom recently?
Well, yeah, I watch The Prom like every other day, but daily news. I'm trying to think. I think that's everything. Oh, I started watching Teen Wolf again for a secret project. I started watching Buffy again for a not so secret project if you wrote my book too. I started watching Avatar.
How are you enjoying Avatar?
You know what? The community is fun. I like them a lot. It's also a mixed bag. I've also met people who don't understand what a reaction is and don't understand that I've never seen a TV show before.
Mm-hmm.
And so some of the comments I kind of take offensively. But other than that,
are you enjoying the show though?
Yeah. It's a fun time. It's a fun time. I also was told by a lot of people not to skip an episode. like during my reactions, that every episode matters. Even if you don't think it matters, it matters. So, was I planning on reacting to 24 episodes in one season this year? No. Would have definitely picked something shorter. But we're on this train.
Mm-hmm.
No jumping off now.
I might, if it's okay, if we can figure out how to work it together, I might join you for season 2. Because I just finished season 1 of the show, so I know everything that happened in the season. I have not started season 2 yet. So when we get to season 2, we can start talking about it. I would love to join you for the second arc.
Here's the thing. I'm only continuing on without. It's a big excursion. You know, it takes a lot of time and things. Not as much time because they're only 22 minutes up, 22 minutes, but it's going to take a lot of work, and it's for 4 months of my life that I'm doing it or whatever. Not that it's a chore. I like watching TV, but that depending on how well it does will determine if we're moving on to book 2. I might move on to book 2, but I might binge watch the rest of the TV show. I'm at least watching the first, season with you guys. And then if you guys decide now, if it doesn't do as well and people don't seem as interested in it anymore, then we'll move on and I'll, find something else to watch. That's the hard thing about doing commentaries, especially like TV show commentaries and stuff, is long TV show commentaries. Like if it's like 13 episodes, that's a sweet spot. Like Killing Eve, I would have probably watched the whole thing if it wasn't for copyright. But damn, they are rough. All right, we'll move over to the devil. The little fucking devil.
Can we do this for you because you have so many problems with it tonight?
I sure do. I do want to mention before we get started, as you guys have been seeing, I am not announcing these early anymore, as everything is subject to change, especially when we have lots of cancellations for lots of different reasons. I mean, everybody cancels. It's just it was a mutual cancellation. Zachary canceled a lot.
Sorry.
But so
okay.
Whenever he tells
Ladies and gentlemen, it is. But this is the plan right now. Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. These are the 3 days next week that we will be seeing a commentary from Weekend Movie Bros. Tuesday will be Wonder Woman 1984. Hopefully, the remainder of the film. The whole film. Thursday will be Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice, Ultimate Cut. And Saturday is going to be It Chapter 2.
The sci-fi comedy of your dreams. Literally, I think it's going to haunt Zachary.
Oh, boy.
No, you know what? I honestly think you're going to laugh at this. I think you're going to think it's a big joke. I'm not even lying.
Oh, I know.
I wish I was. I wish I was like, no, Zachary. You know how you went and saw the first one and you cried like a little baby the whole time? You know, when you just hid your head inside your woman's blouse? You know, like that? But with your face inside her boobs? You know, like that? No, sadly, that's not what we're getting. Like, honestly, if I wanted you to cry yourself to sleep at night, I'll make you watch The Conjuring and I'll just do clapping. I'll call you and just be like, and then you'll be terrified. But no, I'm making you watch a sci-fi comedy. Because it's 3 hours long. I do want to mention that was my only. He made me watch Batman vs. Superman, which is 3 hours long. And so I'm making him watch it chapter 2 because it's 3 hours long. Also, no one needs an Ultimate Edition. Especially not that trash.
And on that note, thank you guys very much for watching this week's episode, and welcome to the new season.
Sorry. Huh? Be one more.
And welcome to the new. And
hold on. What are you doing? Just slow down. Calm down, human. On the 28th of a Thursday, possibly subject to change, of course, as Man of Steel. That's it. Okay, you can go on.
Okay. Thank you guys very much for joining the first episode of the new season of Weekend Movie Bros. Yay! Woo! As always, make sure to like, rate, subscribe, hit the like button, hit the notification bell. That way you can see what's going on in the world of WMB. You can always just check out our local channels, which is We can also check out the local channels as Jacob is here and my channel RZ Jones 18 to find out what we're going outside of this channel. And make sure to come back and see us for the next podcast and or commentary, which this week will be commentary on Tuesday with Wonder Woman 1984, the remainder of the film.
The whole film.
No buffering.
I'm gonna cry if it buffers. All right. Sing, boy.